Welcome back to PeepodCove, and TikTok is back. Just like that, after what, maybe 12 hours? We did a video last night, and they went dark for a little bit, but apparently Trump was able to save TikTok, at least for now. So let's dive right in. Let's get to it.
Tonight, TikTok back online in the U.S.
We're back! We're back! We're back!
After going dark for less than 24 hours.
It's been a long 12 hours.
Over the last few days, uncertainty over the future of TikTok after the Biden administration said they wouldn't implement the ban, but TikTok claimed their service providers needed more assurances in writing. The White House calling going dark a stunt. Restoration came shortly after President-elect Trump posted on Truth Social, "I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark," saying Americans deserve to see our exciting inauguration. Also writing he would issue an executive order, giving TikTok more time before any penalty would be enforced.
And as of today, TikTok is back.
A 90-day period could be used to facilitate some type of sale, with Mr. Trump writing he'd like to see a joint venture with 50% American ownership. The law stipulated the app had to be sold away from its parent company ByteDance because its ties to China and the national security concerns that the Chinese government could take American data or manipulate content. The app has said that's not true. TikTok today welcoming users back with a message crediting President Trump and saying in a statement, the Trump team provided the necessary clarity and assurance for service providers. Also writing, they're working with Mr. Trump on a long-term solution.
We are so back, and the vibes are absolutely immaculate.
Meanwhile, some users tonight celebrating the return of a social media giant.
Savannah Sellers is with us now. And Savannah, to be clear, to the degree that this is a solution, it is only a short-term one.
Hallie, that's right. There are still open questions about what a long-term solution would be. So the law allows for the president to decide what counts as a qualified divestiture. So if any American company or individual buys 50%, that could be enough. We'll see if that gets done within 90 days.
You know, I'm not going to really get into the politics too much. There's a lot of politics involved. But the fact that TikTok is back, you know, I got another clip that I want to show y'all as well. And it explained things a little better. This was like a TikTok version of what kind of transpired. But the fact that TikTok is back and 7 million creators on TikTok, and the fact that you guys are not out of work is awesome. I'm for the creator, always going to be for the creators, and it's a good thing. You know, hopefully a long-term deal could get worked out, like they said there, but
from TikTok, the social media app, saying it is in the process of restoring service after going dark for more than 170 million American users late last night. In a statement, the company says President-elect Trump gave it the clarity that service providers would not be penalized. Congress passed the bipartisan bill last April that led to a current banning of TikTok. But it was Trump who signed an executive order, you remember, in August of 2020, to step up pressure on the Chinese-owned app to sell to an American company. Now, Trump is saying he wants the U.S. to have a 50% ownership stake between ByteDance or new owners. Joining us now for more on this, cybersecurity and data protection expert, Caitlin Sarian. Caitlin, thanks for taking the time and being with us. Let's start by getting your reaction to TikTok's announcement on a restoration of service.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in shock for the last 48 hours. I was in denial. And then last night when it went out, I was in shock and I just kind of stared at my phone. I'm pretty excited to see what happens in the future. And this is looking good for the 170 million of us that are on TikTok. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a roller coaster of emotions for a lot of us that are content creators on the platform.
So online, you are known as Cybersecurity Girl. You create content specifically educating your viewers on topics like data protection and privacy, things of that nature. Congress and the Supreme Court say this is a national security risk, not necessarily just TikTok, but apps owned by foreign adversaries or companies that are from a foreign adversary. Do you believe Americans' information is really at risk here?
Well, as a cybersecurity professional, you know that everything is a risk, right? You always have to take a risk-based approach. So every service, every website, every app that you use and download, every time you're giving your information to someone, no matter who it is, you have to take a risk-based approach. And for me personally, when I heard back when TikTok was going to partner with Oracle and try to move their services over to the US, I think this was like 3.5, almost 4 years ago now, I started feeling more comfortable going on the platform. So before I actually didn't go on the platform, I took that risk-based approach.
So see, even she who does cybersecurity knew the app was dangerous. But it seemed like at some point after Trump signed the executive order to have him investigated, they started splitting the company. So they started creating TikTok, I guess, World and TikTok America or US or something like that. But it shows you that there is something there, because she even says that she wouldn't get on the app until they merged with Oracle, who was an American-based company.
Approach. I said, I don't feel comfortable giving my data to China at that moment in time. When I heard that TikTok was starting to partner with Oracle, I decided, hey, my risk-based approach it's okay, because I feel like my purpose is bigger and I'm going to be able to reach a larger audience. And that was my risk-based approach. But every single individual has to take that approach, no matter if it's TikTok, whatever app you're using, and just knowing who you're sharing your information with. There's always a risk, especially when it comes to China or other foreign adversaries as well.
Yeah, I think most Americans, I get personal texts to my personal phone from politicians asking me.
And that's kind of true. Like, if you've been on social media, you've been doing social media for a while, there's apps that you may get and use only one time, and you got to hit that button that says that they could possibly take all your stuff, and you hit it anyway. And, so anytime you get out there in the world, your stuff is exposed. But everybody could tell you this is a little different. This is a little different. Not the same Piggly Wiggly.
All sorts of things. Like, everybody gets my information. So I think a lot of Americans were like, wait a minute, everybody has our information, but this is different. This is about foreign adversaries and what they could possibly do. You worked at TikTok, right? I want to know if you think, could you ever imagine a day when we'd be at this point?
No. And again, TikTok was always about inspiring creativity and bringing joy. So I actually started my TikTok, and then ironically, I got my job at TikTok from my TikTok. So I grew really well on TikTok for about a year. And then I applied to a job at TikTok because I was so passionate about their mission. And it completely changed my life. And I know it's completely changed so many of my friends around me life. It impacts so many small businesses. It's unbelievable. And it is a little bit ironic that I truly feel like the TikTok app is the American dream, right? It's allowing people to reach worldwide. It's allowing small businesses to expand outside of their small hometowns. It's really bringing in tons of money for American citizens. And so I had such a passion and purpose. I really, really wanted to work there. And seeing all the behind the scenes, I want to preface that I did not work there's two separate TikToks, right? There's a TikTok US. After Trump had stated that he wanted to bring it more to the US or sell to the US. So they started splitting off. There's a TikTok US specifically, and then there's a TikTok Global. And I actually worked at TikTok Global. So I didn't see or touch any of the US data. We were solely focused on everything outside of the US. So all the other countries that use TikTok. But the team that I know that worked at TikTok US, like dedicated individuals, ex-FBI, ex-CIA agents, and then they are, again, partnering with Oracle. So I really felt comfortable with them. But again, it's a risk-based decision. Obviously, I don't know what the Supreme Court saw. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that I didn't have any privy of seeing. And a lot of the American citizens don't, which is why most of us are very confused and hurt and upset and shocked. But I truly believe that our government is doing this to protect the United States as a whole, even if we might not see it that way. So again, it's hard for me because I see both sides, right? I absolutely love the platform. I've seen how much it impacts people, but I also see the negative side effects of apps and just cybersecurity as a whole. So it's very hard for me to judge. All I know is personally, I don't regret my decision of going on TikTok. It's completely changed my life, and I know it's changed so many other people's lives as well.
If TikTok had stayed dark, it'd have been chaos for so many Americans who use the app to make a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, to be very profitable and successful. So the fact that TikTok is back is a good thing. I've always said that if they had shut down, it would have been horrible. 12 hours isn't bad. And the next administration has come in, and basically it's up to them to figure it out. The last administration just brought it to the line and says, hey, we're not going to put a ban on it, but they needed it to be in writing. So what basically happened was they had to say, hey, this is what we plan to do. And they needed a plan, I guess. I'm hoping that's how it went. So let me know if you were on TikTok and it was gone. Was it horrible? How'd you feel? I'm on TikTok. There's a PeepodCove on TikTok. I don't have a huge following on there. I'm trying to get my game up here first on YouTube, and then I'll go to TikTok. But let me know down in the comments how'd you feel about the TikTok breakdown, bundle up. You know, it's to me, it's just there's so much politics involved in that, but I'm not going to get into the politics. I'm just going to say I'm happy that TikTok is back, and eventually PeepodCove will be. I am on TikTok. You can check me out over there, but we're going to eventually, within the next year, go full throttle on TikTok. You know, hopefully we get a buyer and things will work out the way it should. But PeepodCove right here by Elmo is your next video. Peace.